Those were a lot of examples for content generation, I guess. So let's conclude this module with one final type of content that you can create with ChatGPT: sample data or dummy data, which you could, for example, need for your web development project, for your data analysis project, so wherever you need dummy or sample data. We will get started with one of the most common data formats, JSON data, and let's say that we just need some dummy JSON data for recipes and the corresponding ingredients. So this would be a prompt that should generate exactly that. So a JSON array, 5 recipes, and at least 6 ingredients for each of the entries we have. Let's see what ChatGPT makes out of it. And although this is a quite simple example, you see how awesome this is. Without ChatGPT, you had to do this on your own, and now this is generated within seconds, and you can focus onto the actual work you want to do, not onto finding sample data for the specific project you are working on. You can, of course, always edit the output, as you know. So you could say that you want to have 2 more recipes, or you could also tell ChatGPT to switch one of the recipes. So if you're not a big chicken curry fan, for example, you could say replace chicken curry with another recipe. So you have full control about the sample data you can create in here. JSON is a very common data format in development, but also in data analysis. Specifically for data analysis, we also work quite often with CSV files. Creating data in CSV format is of course also possible in ChatGPT. To also give you an idea here, we could use the following prompt. So here we just want to have data for the 50 largest cities in the world in CSV format, and we also define the headers of the corresponding CSV data. So we can stop at this point. I could continue the output if I want to, but I think you got the idea. So you can also easily create such dummy data in ChatGPT. This is CSV format, but not perfectly readable. You could also create the output in table format with dummy data instead of real data here. So for example, this prompt should create dummy data for an online store. It should be in table format, and I provide the names of the columns in this table. And I'll actually reduce this to 20 customers. Otherwise, we have the same problem we had before, that the generation takes a bit long. So as you see, ChatGPT formats the information in this table-like style, which makes reading it a lot easier, obviously. So you can have a quick look and check whether the sample data is helpful for the actual project, for your project needs. And if you like it, you could simply turn this into CSV format. And it even tells you that you can simply copy and paste it, so it cannot get any easier. Now the output is formatted differently than we had it before, but you can still easily copy and paste it. Finally, another very common data type for text in this case is Markdown. In case you don't know Markdown, Markdown looks something like this. So we can simply let ChatGPT create Markdown code here. Markdown is a pretty simple language, so to say, to format text easily. It's used quite often in web development, for example. The problem is that now I only see the results. So you see these different formats for the headline and for the subheaders and this bold format here, and you see this list. Now, if I want to understand what the Markdown code behind actually looks like, I can simply ask ChatGPT to do so. And this simply creates some dummy Markdown code that I can either use to learn Markdown, or I can integrate it into my project that requires some Markdown code. With this, I also want to conclude this lecture and this module. As you saw, you have lots of possibilities regarding creating content with ChatGPT. So this module didn't explore all possibilities because these are almost endless, but this should be a great starting point now for you to dive deeper and to create the content needed for your specific purposes.